So we will start with today's topic, which is understanding the five elements, and out of that we will try to understand water. Last week we understood the fire, and this week we will try to understand water. So we all know water is one of the five elements as per TCM. What is its main function? We came to know that the function of the fire is to transform one thing into another. So similarly, what is the main function of the water? The main function is to bind. So if there is for example, if there is wheat flour, it is dry, and you can easily separate it and spread it. But when you add water, what happens? It gets bound and it creates a dough. Similarly, there is cement. It is powder. But if you add water to it, what happens? It binds to it itself and creates a stronger bond. Right? So similarly, when we see all of the function, one of the main function is to bind. Second, okay, we will go to the second function, which is it dissolves. Sorry. See, if we put salt in the air, it stays as it is. If we put salt in the earth, it stays as it is. But if I put salt in the water, it dissolves. So this ability of dissolving something is there in water. So it can dissolve many things. Okay. There are few things which it cannot dissolve, and there are many things that it can dissolve. So that is why we also say that water is a universal solvent. So now when it comes to the direction, okay, we saw that the fire moves upwards, and the opposite of that is downwards. The water moves downwards. See, if we allow the water to flow, okay, like I have shown the picture of a waterfalls. So wherever you put the water, it tends to move downwards. As long as there is a path for it to move, it wants to go and settle at the most bottom place where it can find. Right? So this is a very important concept. All of these, what we are listening here, it sounds very simple and something that we all know. Like these are the fundamental principles with which we will be diagnosing. Right? These are crucial to understand. Like say for example, we heard this that the water is flowing downwards. And if there is edema in the lower part of the body, so then what do we treat? It is kidneys, because kidney is the one which is related to the water and it is flowing downwards. It has collected at the bottom of the body. So in this way, there are many places where we apply these principles and try to find a proper solution. Okay. So the next one is, it is fluid in nature, in the sense like it is fluid and also it moves. Say, as long as the gradient is downwards, as long as the gradient is downwards, it can easily move left, right, in all direction it can move. I have shown an example of this river path. See, it is not a straight downwards. See, if you put a fire, it always moves upwards straight. That is its primary direction. And also it spreads. Okay. Spread is secondary, but its primary is straight. It doesn't go like this upwards here and there, right? It straightly goes upwards like a flame in a candle. But it is not the case with the water. It wants to go down straight like a waterfall, but if there is a gradient difference, in the sense if it has a path to move left or right, it will move as long as the gradient is towards downwards. Okay, if the slope is down, it will move. Okay. Anyway, in any direction, it will move. So this is important for us to understand. So it moves, it is fluid in nature. And what else it does? It cools. So it gives a cooling effect to something. If there is a hot water, you throw, hot fire, you throw water into it, so it cools down. So if your pressure cooker is very hot, to cool the pressure cooker fast, many of you would do in the kitchen, no? They sprinkle water on it, so it cools down. So it has a cooling effect. And it moistens. Say if you put a cloth in the fire, it burns it. But if you put a cloth in the water, it moists the cloth, right? So this ability is there in the water. And another ability or feature of water is whenever it settles down in a horizontal plane like this. So whenever you are, say, the water is gushing down in the falls, but finally once it reaches the ocean, what happens? It settles down in that horizontal plane. That is also a property of the water. So which is used in many places in the human body while the body is designed. Say for example, we know that in the ear there is a level measurement device. Say for example this, whatever we call the water level. Okay, so this kind of setup is there in the ear. So which I have tried to show, like in these there is fluids moving around. Based on that, see if you move your head like this or you tilt it or you bend, so how does your body know that this is the angle that it has tilted, and no, it in this much movement has happened? All of that movement measurement is done through this system, whatever is there in the water level system that we have, and which is commonly known is in the ear. So whenever there is a problem in this part, people get vertigos, like they feel that their head is spinning, even though the head is not spinning, it is stable. They feel that the head is spinning because that their measurement capabilities of the balance is disturbed because of some reason. Okay, there are many reasons for vertigo, and one of the reason is this. So we understood that, see, I've tried to show a picture over here. See, when we try to understand the heat, okay, what was the one source of all the heat? It was sun. And similarly, what is the one source of all the water on the earth? It is oceans. That is what I could correlate. So ocean is the only source of water, because from ocean itself all the water has moved around. What is happening in this figure? So the water is there. Because of the sun rays, the water is getting vaporized, right? It is rising upwards, and because of the wind, it is moving in some direction, and when it goes to another place, the water is unloaded onto the earth. Okay, here it gets uploaded into the cloud, and from cloud it gets downloaded in the earth. Okay, and then it follows a path. Okay. One is in the form of rivers. So sorry, so it flows back onto the ocean, and wherever it stops, wherever there is a depression of earth surface, it goes and stands there in the form of lakes, and it precipitates in the earth. No, it goes in the wherever there is spaces, vacant spaces in the earth, it sinks down, and then it goes as um, inner water, and finally that also goes and mixes in the um, ocean. So this underwater is what we take as bore wells, etc. Those kind of setup. See here you see a cycle. Okay, water is there, the main source, the ocean, and from there the water rises, goes onto the land, and in different formats it gets utilized and once again comes back into the ocean. So this is a cycle, and here it is very important to know, if there is only water, let us say, like in our homes, what do? The municipality will send the water, or there is water from the bore wells. If we have to use the water, what is that we follow? We pump the water to a higher level, either the first floor or second floor, wherever it is, into the tanks, overhead tanks, the water is pumped. And from there, what will the water do? It will flow down. And we open the taps and we utilize. And the rest, it goes into the drainage. Once again, it flows down. So the water, Narayanappa sir, please mute yourself. Okay. If the same, Narayanappa sir, please mute yourself if you are not asking any question.
Hello, sir.
So mute yourself, sir.
Sir?
Your voice is audible. Please mute it.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So the same principle is used even in the nature. There is water, and in house what we do, we use an electrical pump to take it to the higher level, to the overhead tank. Here what is the pump? In nature it is the sun rays. The heat is evaporating and taking it to the higher level. Now it has to get distributed here and there. It has risen up, but now the distribution has to take place. Who is doing that? The wind is doing. So the wind is distributing the water to different places and then dropping it down in the form of rain. And once it drops down, the rest is taken care by the inherent mechanism of water. So it tries to find the lowest location with the least amount of resistance, and it will start flowing down in the form of rivers, and some of the water is going inside the earth and there it is flowing, and wherever it stops, it forms lakes, and given an opportunity it would still flow down. But if it is barriered through in the form of the dams, etc., the water still tries to move down. Okay, it is we have forcefully kept it in a place, right? So this is the cycle that happens in the nature. Now, like we can see the same in the body also, right? See, what I'm trying to make a point over here is, see, whenever the water is supposed to move, it requires the help of another element. Here, to move up, it is needing the help of the sun, that is the heat. And then to distribute to different locations, it requires wind, right? So by itself, it can only come from top to bottom. Okay, it is the downward movement, but if it has to go back, then it requires the help of other elements. And very similar thing is happening in the body. Say if I leave the whole water in the body, what it will do, it will settle down. Okay, it will, all the water will be in the lower part of the body, but the upper part of the body is also needing the water. And if I leave the fire, if I segregate the fire and leave where it is, so all the fire will go and collect on the top of the body, the topmost part of the body. Now this is not I want. Okay, I want all of them to be intermingled. Right? If you are trying to drink a coffee, okay, Pushpa madam, you are trying to. Okay. So say, let us say you are, if you are trying to drink coffee, and you mix all the ingredients, water, milk, decoction, coffee decoction, and the sugar. All of them kind of sits in a different location. I mean, the okay, Narayanappa sir, why is that you are unmuting your system? Please. Narayanappa sir,
Hello, sir.
please mute your system. Why have you unmuted it?
Okay, sir.
It is disturbing the class.
Sorry, sir. Sorry.
Okay, so I was giving you the example of
Guru, please mute on
the example of the coffee. So if the coffee is in separate, layers, like in the sense sugar will go and settle on the bottom. Next dense is, say, the coffee decoction. It will go and settle above the sugar. Then the milk above the decoction. Then the water above the milk. So if it is in this layered form, would you enjoy the coffee? First, when you drink, you will get hot water, then hot milk, hot decoction. Then finally, you will get a chunk of sugar. It is not the way, like that is not the way it is supposed to work. Everything should get intermingled. The same should happen in the human body also, right? If I leave them, all of them separately, the water will settle down, the fire will go up. Now both of these things have to be intermingled. Then how does it function? Like the water has to move up and the fire has to move down. How is it happening is, these elements would intermingle. Say the fire, just like the sun, right? The sun that took the water vapors up. Similarly, the fire over here will rise the water onto the up top part. Like say heart is over here. Now then the wind will take its next part. So wind is kind of distributing the water over here, right? The wind is distributing the clouds to different places. Similarly, the wind in the human body, what is it? The liver. So the liver, what is the direction of the liver? We had learned it when we were discussing the directions of the key. What is the direction of the liver? Key direction of liver? Anybody wants to say?
All around the body, all directions.
It moves
Yes.
all direction.
It is in all direction. See, like, because the wind moves in all directions. It is not specific to one direction, right? Only north I will blow, or only south I will blow, northeast I will blow. No, it does not. So it moves in all direction. So this water is rising upwards because of the heat. Once it rises, now that has to get distributed throughout the body. Even the hands require blood. All the nutrients is required from in all the parts of the body. So now the liver will make that go in different directions because it is the wind, right? So I hope it is making sense to you. Okay, there is a discrepancy in air and wind. Yes, madam. Sushila, madam, please.
No, see, I would like to say only one thing is that it doesn't individually represent. There's water in every cell, so we have to connect with that also. So how does the water in every cell move? I'll tell you after this is over, after you finish speaking. There is a wonderful system where water is negatively, positively charged. And while doing some research, I found some wonderful truths about it. So in the cell itself, we are talking about it in general, and it doesn't flow like water flowing everywhere. It flows in form of circulation, right?
I was trying to give a very gross level of understanding so that everyone understands. Like, there are different mechanisms of movement. Say, for example, if we are seeing in the earth, so there is diffusion. As madam was telling, there is charges, positive ions and negative ions. Even that is making the water move into different layers of the body. Okay, within the cell, the water has to get in. So it is through diffusion it gets in. So there is a whole lot of mechanism, but whatever we are learning about the elements, even the fire or the water, we have not even scratched the surface. It is so elementary level of understanding that we are trying to get. Okay, there is vast amount of.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, madam. Thanks for bringing this up. Okay, and I think Revati madam has made a comment. She is telling makes sense when we say kidney direction is upwards, so the distribution is easy. Yes. So like the water has to keep moving upwards. So that is why the kidney is also moving. The direction of the kidney is upwards, and also it is supposed to send the urine downwards, right? It also moves downwards, right? So in that way, if you see, whatever the TCM people have given the directions for different organs, it starts making sense. Why liver is moving all the way in all the direction. So when we take up the wind chapter, we will discuss a little bit more. And there was one question on is it wind or air? Prakash sir has asked this question. See, I have this, I don't have that clarity yet. See, in Ayurveda, the 5 elements is this space, air, Vayu, and then fire, and then water, and then earth. The space is the first, the least dense. That is what we understand. Now, but when we come to TCM, for the air, the Vayu, I will use this word Vayu, there is wood. They have correlated that. Okay. But for space, they have told it as metal. But in many of the books, for metal, the energy is dryness, but they say it is air, because the air dries. Say you put your cloth and the air which is circulating, it dries your cloth. And probably because of that, they say it to be air. So they differentiate between wind and air. So I am trying my best not to confuse you people. So I am trying to stick to something very simple concept that you can understand. Does it make sense, sir? Prakash, sir?
Yeah, little bit, sir. Okay, okay. Right now we can assume even yeah, lungs are involved in distribution of water as per TCM, no, sir. So
Yes. Yes, because it is sending that defensive key throughout the body, right? See the mist, what it is making. So it sends. See, every organ will have more than one function. It is not mono-purpose. It is multi-purpose. All the organs. So, but if we get into the details of it, the fundamental purpose, like we will lose out the fundamentals. Okay. So that is why I'm not getting into the too much of details because it will confuse people. What you're telling is right. Even lungs also has a function.
a role in distribution.
Does it make sense, or did I confuse you?
Yeah, yeah.
Make sense?
No, sir. Right now both are right.
Yes. Okay. So like let us stick to the way that I am trying to teach, so that I can only minimize the confusion. Okay. So we have another 8 minutes, and after that the session will end. So we will rejoin after this. Okay. So what I was trying to say is this intermingling of different energies is very essential. When we go to the cell level, even in the cell, all the 5 energies are there. It is not that only some particular energy is there. Right, as ma'am was telling, see, there is heat there is water, there is movement, everything is there in the cell also. See, in the cell, within the cell, the intercellular fluid has to move. Okay. The contents from outside the cell has to move within the cell, and contents from inside the cell, the waste product of the cell has to move out. So there is movement. So it means that the liver energy is there in the cell because it is movement. Now the water is there, intracellular fluid. So the kidney is also there. The cell is generating heat, the ATP process, the energy. So it means that the heat, the heart energy is also there. It is, each cell reproduces itself. Okay, that is one of the main function of the cell. It is to reproduce. So that it means that the earth, that is when we sow the seed, it brings out the new energy, that rebirth. Even that energy is there in the cell. So each cell has all the 5 energies in different proportions, right? So all of these functions which we are trying to understand in the macro level also happens at the micro level. Like the mode of that functioning may be different, but it still happens. All like I try to put it in this way: everything is there everywhere, right? So that is how it functions. So I was trying to bring out this gross level of understanding. Say when the fire mixes with the water, even though it controls, like if I directly pour water onto the if I directly pour the water onto the fire gets extinguished. But if I put a water in the vessel and put it on the fire, what happens? The heat in the fire gets transferred to the water. Now the water becomes hot. Even though the water controls, extinguishes the fire, but if I use it in the right way, I can transfer the fire from the fire into the water. Now, once the water becomes hot, and if I make it circulating, if I make it circulate, then the heat will get distributed. So even though the direction of heat is upwards, but if I do that mixing and matching and use the right methods, then I can circulate the heat into all parts of the body with the help of water. Say for example, blood. Blood is warm. It is circulating everywhere in the body. So, and it is also giving the warmth, right? But if we try to trace it back, where is that originally coming from? That is where we can see the principle of TCM. And if we have to master this art of TCM diagnosis, we will have to see in each level how these 5 elements are interplaying. See, within the cell, how these 5 elements are interplaying. Say at a tissue level, how it is doing. At an organ level, in the entire body, like in the eyes, how these are interplaying, in the nose, how it is interplaying, in the tongue, how it is interplaying, in the eyes, in the brain, in the spine, in the nerve. In all the places, it is only 5 elements, but the way that it is interplaying is different. If we can understand this, we can gain a good amount of mastery on this TCM treatment methodology. Okay. Sushila ma'am is raising her hand. Sushila ma'am, please. There is only 3.5 minutes. Like once it ends, we could join back. Sushila ma'am, you wanted to say something?
No, now I just wanted to say, I mean, one sentence. It is like this, that the 5 shoe points that we're talking about, every element has the other 5 elements in it, within itself.
Yes.
So every element that we're talking about, fire has all 5 elements. So that is fundamentally required that each one is dependent upon each other. At the same time, each one has the intrinsic quality of embodying the previous elements, all the 5 elements actually. So the shoe points represent that.
Sure.
That is a very wonderful concept of the Chinese. It's a fabulous concept. So no element is individually existing by itself. They all require all the other elements. Similarly, in Ayurvedic acupressure also, they say one element has the previous elements in it. That's the fundamental,
Yes, madam. Correct. True. See, when
do
I
you
was
need any yeah.
Yes, madam. Tell me.
Go ahead.
Okay. So what I was telling is
Go ahead.
When we say everything is everywhere, everything is in meridian also. So all the 5 elements are there in the meridian.
Yes.
Like in anything that even if you pluck a hair, okay, there is 5 elements in that hair. Okay. So, but how it functions, say the way that it functions in the eyes is different. The way it functions in the brain is different. The way it functions in muscles are different. In the blood, it is different. So this is where the complexity comes in. The raw material is very simple. The designer of the body, the Almighty, he has used only these 5 elements with such complex precision, design principles. Like it is marvelous. If you start understanding each bit by bit, no, it is you will be thrilled to the core. Okay, so this is what I was trying to bring about in this conversation, that each element by itself cannot exist and function in the whole body. So it has to mix with other elements to perform its functions. Okay. So there is a question, even the chemical composition in tears. Okay. Yes. So the chemical composition is also different. Okay. Means the ratios of 5 elements is also different in different fluids in the body. Say CSF is a fluid, tears is a fluid, saliva is a fluid. All of them are fluid, but its chemical composition or the ratios of these 5 elements are very, very different. So we have less than a minute. So once this session ends, we will rejoin. Okay.
Sure.
So this is the content which I wanted to share. Say, I wanted to make one more difference over here. Say, we will discuss this when we take up different elements. Say, like for example, there is Earth. If you put it like in the form of a mountain, it stays as it is. Unless no, there is some landslide or etc., it retains its position. But that is not the case with the water. As soon as you put, it starts moving downwards, right? And also it can take different shapes of the container. So this I wanted, because next time when we go through the earth, like we will discuss this point. But for now, I just wanted to give a small peek into it. So any questions? So this is the topic for today. Any questions on this?
Hello.
Yes, Abdul.
Yes, sir. How are you?
I'm good.
Thank you for the session today, for the element description. It's fantastic. I have just some clarification.
Mhm.
Now, let's say if a human body
Mhm.
has a lower pain, lower heaviness, not pain, from his lower and two legs, he feel heaviness,
Mhm.
so he cannot move.
Mhm.
Is it type of excess of water element, so or the wind will be less, cannot move the water up and down
It
as
is
diagnosis?
like it. There could be multiple things. Say one, it requires proper diagnosis. Say you told the person is not able to move. It means that the movement, the wind is less. The wind energy is less, right? And if it is the person is trying to stay in the same place, it is like either it could be the earth element has become more. Like if you put a no a piece of earth, a bag of earth somewhere, it just stays even if you live for 100 years. So that kind of thing is happening in the human body. It means that the person is not liking to move around, etc. So it means that that rigidity of earth has come into the person. It means that the earth has become more. It doesn't mean that the person has grown fat, right? It doesn't mean that. The person is just trying to lay around, he doesn't want to be active. It means that the earth element has become more in that person. And say for example, if the water has become more, say I gave you an example of the edema in the leg. Say the even though there is water is, say you put a big amount of water somewhere, it's still the water moves, right? Say down the hill or wherever it can find the path, it tries to move. Say, some person with the edema may like to move around. It's just that the person's legs are big. Okay, the water element has become more, but that water element is not restricting the person from the movement, because it is exhibiting that quality of water. The water tries to move, right? Even though it is cool, it is not as much, it is not moving as much as the wind, but it is still moving. The lowest movement is of the earth, right? Like probably the patient's earth humidity has become more. Like it requires a proper full diagnosis, but this is a short answer to your question. Does it make sense?
Yeah, it is. It is. I know it's not no one can يعني, have this as a full diagnosis, but it helps sometimes.
Yes.
Can I help in this answer a little bit?
Yes, ma'am.
Clarification?
Go ahead.
Okay, the thing is that 2/3 of our body weight is in the lower part. Like even when we teach yoga, it's very difficult for people to lift their whole bottom up and legs up because it's the big joints are there, the hips, the knees, they're bearing the whole body weight. So sometimes there's a difference here between water and dampness, earth element. The way he explained, Krishnamurti, that water is the kidney element, which when there's edema, we normally give kidney yang and we heat up give kidney yang to move up the water. But here it is dampness. Dampness is heavy. So that's why the person is feeling lethargic, heavy, dense. So dampness and, it always makes swelling in the legs and heaviness and lethargy. So you have to try to remove the dampness by increasing the heat in the body, either walk more or, eat hot foods, ginger, vagera. Usme se water has to be eliminated and then the dampness will go. The mother has to be tonified of the dampness. Hot fire.
I was thinking about something probably in the same lines. Like I wanted Krishnamurti to show the, compare between ascites and edema when there is a renal problem. Edema means when there's water accumulated in the legs because of kidneys problem, or when the water is accumulated in the abdominal area because of liver, problem. Liver problem means the wind energy is getting less, and kidney leg edema is when your water element is weak.
Okay, I will keep that in the diagnosis class. For today, we will only discuss.
It's again an imbalance in the water distribution.
That is what I was telling. Like if we have to understand this, like individual elements, if we understand, if we are strong, and how they interact with one another, so it makes us a lot of it brings us command in how we diagnose. And like if we get into it, it is a whole very big large subject. That is why I am restraining myself from answering that.
Yeah. But very simply and very nicely explained. Very nice. You showed the fire as well as the wind incorporated in this water movement. Very good. Thank you.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello. How metal is the controller of water?
How metal is the
controller of water? Really, we can't understand that concept.
When once I finish all the 5 elements, then it will become
okay.
This is only
right.
Metal is the controller of water.
No, metal is not the controller of the water. Earth is the controller of the water.
Sorry, Earth is the controller of water. Yes.
So like once I finish all the 5,
okay,
you will understand.
Right.
Okay.
Sir, like it rains, so the earth soaks up the water. No, it's not flooding all over. It soak ho jati hai pani. So earth is controlling the water. Pani kahin bhi aur nahi behta, pani earth mein chala jata hai. That's how it controls.
Means there is different analogies which the TCM books have given. Say you can build a dam of mud, okay, and you can kind of stop the water from flowing. That is also one of the examples which is given in treatise 1. And what Balreet madam is also telling is right, it gets soaked in. So in that way it is controlling, the earth is controlling the water. So, but there is more details to it. It is some analogy for us to understand, but we can discuss more when we take up that topic. Okay. So any other questions? So any questions in the previous class of fire? I think there was one question which was posted. Mangalam madam or someone had posted.
Krishnamurti,
yes,
how we spoke about the emotional factor when we were talking about the fire. Do we have any emotions relating to this, and can you talk about that?
Yes, in water, the person is cool. Like they are very fluid. Like if a person, let's say some obstruction comes when the water is flowing. So what will the water do? It will try to find a different path and continue to move. It doesn't stop, right? So the person with the water element, they are very easygoing. They are cool. If you try to, if somebody puts a hurdle here, they try to move in a different direction and continue with their life. So they
How
don't
is
stop.
how is fear related to this element then?
I will have to kind of research more on that, which I don't have full understanding of it. Okay, I will get back to you probably in the next class. Okay. So it is very intriguing.
Can I add something?
There is a telling that they say salt is a taste for water, kidney.
Yes.
I was thinking how or why. Say when we go to this figure, see our water is coming here and going back to the ocean. And while the water is going back to the ocean, what it does is it dissolves many of the salts, different kinds of salts. While it is moving, it dissolves in the water. It slowly over many years. Okay, the salt, what happens, gets concentrated in this water. When the water vapor goes up, it is not a salty water which is going, it is saltless water is going up, right? But it is taking the salt from the soil and going and mixing in the ocean. Over a long period of time, what happens? The salts which is there in the earth will get into the water. So that salt is, like as I told, the source of all water is the ocean, and the ocean water is salty. Probably that is why they have correlated salt with the kidney, right? There could be other reasons also, but that is what I could think of. And I have not come across explanations of the emotions related to the organs. Say for example, fear, why it is related with kidney is not being explained in any of the books which I have read. Like I have read at least like 7-8 books, and none of them kind of get into elaborations of it. They have mentioned why they have mentioned kidney is related with fear or water is related with fear, but why, that explanation is not there. So like I'll have to think more, and like none of these were, like very few were there in the book, and many of them are coming from my thinking. So that also I will have to think and get back to you with the answer.
Sir, this is Vinitra. I have a doubt. Can I ask?
Yes, madam. It is open to everyone.
Yeah. Sir, for the salt, you said because ocean is the basis of water, they have associated salt with water. The same way the organ is kidney. Kidney is the only organ in the body which is filtering all the blood and taking it, is the source where electrolytes are filtered. So all the salt filtration will be happening only in kidney. Could that also be a reason why salt is associated?
Could be, madam. Could be. Definitely it could be, because there could be many reasons, like when they put something, associate one with another, it generally that it is not for just one reason. It would be for multiple reasons. Okay, what you told also could be very right.
Okay, thank you. Just wanted to clarify.
Well, correct, ma'am. Thanks for giving that point. Any other questions?
Hi, this is Shanti here.
Yes, madam.
Yeah, I thought of something about the fear concept and the water element relation.
Yes.
That is, see, our body is 72% above filled with water only. And any small disturbance in the water element naturally causes the fear, and the person immediately tends to urinate.
Okay.
And so any disturbance, minute disturbance, either too much stagnation of water in the body or the bladder is not flushing out properly, everything gives the person when he sleeps also he gets this fearful dreams, and with a jerk he gets up from the dreams. if we notice, he will immediately go and flush out the bladder. It will be full actually. So maybe this is the reason the water and fear.
For example, I'll give you one correlation. See, whenever body gets into these stagnant states, say water is becoming more and it is kind of like a lake, it is just sitting, right? Now body should not be in that state for long, right? Because body is supposed to be active, right? So now body has a mechanism to infuse action, trigger action from the body. And one of that triggering mechanism is fear. So it induces the fear so that the person does something. Instead of sitting, in a static way, it builds the motion inside the person and there is one method. Say whenever there is too much of cold, the person shivers, right? That movement brings warmth. That is the methodology of the body. Okay, and this is bringing in fear is also one of the method to reignite or reinitiate movement in the body or action in the body. Is what I think. May not be a complete answer. We have to dwell more into it.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Krishna sir.
Hello.
There is another. Actually, fear can also cause freezing.
Go ahead, madam.
Because there is a saying here in the States, like the deer in the headlights. So what it actually means is, when a deer is crossing the highways, which is very common here, if it sees the headlights of the car or the automobiles,
it freezes.
Fear, it just freezes and stands there, and that's how it gets hit. You can actually see this in human beings also. So when somebody is afraid, there is the flight and fight syndrome, but there is also the deer in the headlights syndrome where the person completely freezes. There is absolutely no movement. They are unable to think, they are unable to function. So that is also there, actually.
Like there are,
also
what you're telling is right. Yeah, please complete it.
No, that's what I was trying to say. Fear can cause fright also, where there is absolutely complete still of movements.
It is the degree of, I could say, for example, I can say some person, an employee in the office is very, easy going. The person doesn't work. Okay. Now there is a fear of the boss. And the fear of the boss is making him to do work. Right? So that fear is initiating some work within that person. That is at a gentle level. But if that fear is sudden and like once it just comes on that person, then it could lead to that freeze kind of state, what you are telling about the deer. Okay. It can happen based on the degree of the fear getting infused in that person.
Yes, true.
Sir, I feel like when unexpected things happen, I'm Lakshmi here. If unexpected, you don't expect that to happen. That time you become still. Your brain doesn't, it stops working. I feel. Whereas in case of boss, okay, the employee, he is supposed to finish that work. So he always has this in mind. Okay. Whereas in the other case, it happens all of a sudden.
Yes, it is too much of information to process for the brain. Like it just kind of freezes. He doesn't know what to do. So yes, true.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello. How water is created by metal?
How water is, like we will understand this creation. See what is the saying is like
because metal is a solid thing, and water, how it is extracted from metal?
When the metal gets heated, it starts flowing, right? So
it becomes liquid.
It says that water is created from metal, but
not water. It is just liquid. Liquid metal is created, not water.
The analogy which is given in the textbooks is this, but how actually it happens is something which we will have to dig deep. And like there is, I have not come across any books which gives details of these things, right? It is like almost non-existent with which books I read.
Because we understand that metal becomes liquid metal. That's all.
Yes,
so how water is
like as of now, the details given is only that much.
That much.
Yeah.
Okay, we will restrict it to that.
Yes, like even to get detail which I am teaching today, I had to do so much of thinking and reading.
Okay. Right.
So once I understand more, I will teach you. Not an issue.
Okay. Right.
Yes, madam. Sushila Kamath ma'am has unmuted.
No, I'm not really I'm just listening. But ground realities and the metaphysical levels are different. In Ayurvedic acupressure, they've explained very beautifully what water, the attributes of water, both physical as well as metaphysical. They talk about nowhere they've said fear, but like you said, it's very difficult to correlate fear with kidney as far as its functions go. Everybody was given very very viable. And extremely, some things that be acceptable, explanations. I was just listening with wonder. So wonderful to see that there are so many original thinkers amongst all of us. But basically, we have to correlate with actually scientific evidence.
Yes.
I'll come back with some post on the post. I don't want to waste your time about the latest on what they have discovered about water and its effect, not only just heat, but also light, how it behaves at the nano level. It doesn't just remain as OH and H when it breaks down, water when it touches the surface, why it remains in certain forms in the cell itself, and how it functions in the cell. I'll put up on the certain points. I'll give the reference also. This is internationally recognized by a physicist, some Pollack is his name. And while searching for the, what should I say, on water, I did some research. So I found the latest on it. I'll put up the link also for you guys to follow. It is very, thrilling on TED Talks and all. He talks so much about. He's a scientist. So the scientist has given us a different view about water. And he says how light actually influences it. He talked about photosynthesis and how light makes the water particles gathered in a certain form. It's wonderful. It is a wonderful reading. This is evidence-based, solid material sciences level. But the metaphysical level in Ayurvedic acupressure says very categorically, compassion, bonding, loving, the keeping together, all these are attributes of water, cohesion and mixing, like you said, whatever it is. So I still remember Ajay Mishra used to always say, Dil jodne wale cheez pani hota hai. Dil jodne wale cheez is water. So like that, in fact, it brings the next element that follows it totally depends on it for so many functions of it. So that's earth. So like Balriji was talking about the earth. So similarly, the earth itself is quite dependent on each other. So fundamentally, when you see all the elements are systematically associated as well as dependent on each other for their normal functioning. So Ayurvedic acupressure very beautifully says one element is there in the other. Chinese also have said, I found that a very wonderful concept that nothing in this universe exists in unity, in isolation. Everything is in unity. So that unity is brought about, and one of the strongest element in that would be water. It's all at least I have understood when I went through the various.
In Ayurvedic, it is slightly easier than in Chinese. Come up with different aspects.
Yes. There must be some reason for that association with fear. Why fear? Somebody said about the autonomic nervous system, and I think that is Suma, and get fright. fright and flight, actually, when the sympathetic goes up, the urinary bladder function will come down, actually, in fact. See, the entire thing is centered around the muscles, circulatory system, to run away or to take some action. So actually, the urinary bladder would, in fright and flight, would really not be in a state of heightened activity. It should be in a state of fun. And even if you would like to see that, when you have, if you try to conserve water for a muscular movement. So kidney, it has its role, but instead of flowing downwards, I think it flows upwards. So, well, I don't know how it is related with fear. Fear as a thing I'm trying to find out. I'm trying to read on the net also, but I didn't get anything like you said, which is of, at least to make a telling concept in our minds. Thank you for the time. Thank you, friends.
Thank you. We have quite a bit of, say, doctors and engineers and scientists. So hopefully, we will get more answers as we progress. And these, I hope that this sessions work as a triggering, event, which triggers different types of thoughts.
Can I say something about this one? Fear?
Please.
Yeah. So my name is Nagmani. Have you heard about the Dr. Shivani?
Yes, I know.
Who is a speaker of Brahma Kumari.
I know.
Yeah. She will say about the water, whatever the water molecules is there in the water. When we speak something positiveness near a water, and when we take that water, it will work like a positive in our all over the cell.
See, I understand this concept. I can. Thanks for bringing this up. Okay, see, there is a scientist, Doctor. I don't remember the exact name. It's a Japanese scientist, Ishamoto or some.
Dr. Moto.
Masaru Emoto.
Yeah.
Masaru Emoto, the water research,
yes,
where he has proven scientifically beautifully well.
Yeah.
Everybody can type and go through that actually. The power of water.
Yes. Basically, what that scientist says is the water has memory, right? So any feelings which comes out of a person, either positive, negative, okay, that feelings are stored inside the water. Okay. And he has shown that if the feeling is positive, then the crystal structure of the water, okay, he freezes the water and takes like one drop like to see the crystal formation. If that water is influenced through good feelings like love, compassion, etc., then the design of that crystal formation is very beautiful. Well, systematic, synchronized way it will form. And if it is negative emotions like fear, hatredness, jealousy, all of those, then the crystal shape will be very awkward, odd, not good looking, those kind of things. So with that, he has told that the water absorbs the feelings and it transmits, and our body is like more than 70% water. So whenever we come in interaction with different people, and our body absorbs those feelings or is influenced with those feelings, is what is the theory. So, and in even the temples of India, so when you visit, they give tirtha, okay, the holy water. So it means to say that whatever positivity which is there in the holy water, when a person drinks, that positivity gets mixed with the whole water in the body, and it brings out positivity in the person. This is the whole, what do you say, reason? Or
Sir, not only a water. Here, the brain also, our thinking also will correlate with water and this one, sir.
Yeah, definitely. See, that is what I am trying to say. If there is a positivity, like in Indian culture, say you give prasad, when you go to any holy place, they give prasad. Why? See, if you go and take a piece of sweet from the temple, you consider it to be a very holy food. If you take the same sweet, purchase it in a sweet shop, it is not holy. The ingredients, like the sugar, the flour, everything is from the same shops, right? What makes the food from the temple or a holy, spiritual place holy, and the food from a hotel or a shop, common thing. It is because of the feelings which is infused while cooking. Like it is a very elaborate detail. Like
Can I say something here, please?
Yeah, I'll complete this and then you could share. Okay. So see, when you eat the holy food, like while the priests or anybody who are preparing the food, they are infusing it with lot of positive vibrations, and those positive vibrations are getting accumulated in the food, okay, especially when it is converting from one state to another. It absorbs more now, and when that holy food which is infused with the positive vibration is distributed to different people, they consume that. What does TCM say? The food converts to food ki, and the gross energies of the food ki becomes body, and the subtle energies of the food ki becomes mind. Right? When you eat that food is becoming your body as well as it is becoming your mind. So that subtle infused food with positivity, when you eat, that positivity will also get into your mind. Means your mind will also become positive. That is why in at least in Indian holy places, they give prasad, the holy food, and also the holy water. Okay, so this is an indirect way of making a person more positive. Okay, so this is what I wanted to say. Yes, madam, you could continue. What you want?
Krishnamurti, I was thinking, relating the fear factor. You said the water has that flowing and the adjusting nature. It can flow whenever there's an obstruction. Now this fellow is trying to make everyone happy. He is not bothered if somebody wants him to take left, he goes left. Somebody wants right, he goes that way. In that nature, is it showing that he has a low willpower?
No. It is we should not correlate it with weakness, right? See, it is a very fantastic ability. See, you want to achieve it with whatever you have. See, it is not pleasing everyone or being very weak. Okay, so it is. Say you are in the kitchen.
I think this will answer. I'll answer this through my answer.
Go ahead.
So the way Krishnamurti was explaining that water in the temples and all that we get as prasad, and then we get holy water. Same is the quality of water is very benevolent. It accepts everything, everyone as they are. The water, Hartwar, you go to the Ganga, you go and bathe in it. A person who is criminal or somebody who's come from the jail goes and bathes, and somebody who's come from the temple goes and bathes. There's no discrimination. So water is a very benevolent, all properties in it, and it's always flowing. Upar se Gangotri se the tributaries, the river flows downwards. Whether we throw flowers in it or we throw meat in it or we wash fish, anything in it, it's never complaining. So that is a very benevolent property of water, and it's like Ganga Ma is the purest form. It can be put into anything. Water put into the dough will become solid. Water put into this. So water as a person also is a very stable स्थिरता होती है. जिस इंसान में water element dominant है, उसका nature भी बहुत positive, still, stir, and very calm person. And that's not a thing that you don't have willpower. It's a solidity. It's the stability in the person which is more. It is, in fact, an asset, I think, if somebody's. But if it's too calm, then it's an excess of water.
People can exploit his goodness.
Yes. That you have to be discretionary. कि यहाँ पे मेरे को use हो रहा है और यहाँ पे मेरे को पानी जैसे flow कर रहा हूँ मैं. It's always flowing, It'll never complain that मेरे में क्या, why you throwing this dirt into me? Why you throwing? It's always flowing. we have to take those qualities.
Like the quality by itself is neither good or not. I'd say somebody is cutting their vegetables, I guess. Okay. Okay. See, if there is, when we are trying to say this water is can be misused, does it mean that the fire person is good or is better than water person? No. So a fire person is always no, like either too much of yang or too much of yin is bad. But there should be a right
balance
of all of the elements in a person. Only when it becomes too much, then any element, if it becomes too much, like let us say fire, like a person unnecessarily gets angry, you just do tell something, even that is a very bad quality, right? So in that way, any element in excess is bad. There should be a right balance of all the elements.
Yeah, that's right. The same water should not be available in the heart, otherwise heart functioning gets lower. Kidney requires that much of coolness to do its 24/7 work of filtration and all that. I mean, it's nicely correlates with the energy part of it.
Yeah, with whatever little we know, we are trying our best to understand. Like it is far more, as I generally say.
Yes.
Okay. So any question? We have 2 minutes. So, and anybody who is watching it on YouTube or any other platforms, and this Books to Brain series is still open. And if you want to join, the fees is just 2,000 rupees for 1 year subscription. It was started in February 12th, and it is for 1 year. And the classes is twice a week, Tuesday and Thursday from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time. So, and if you want to join, you could contact me on my WhatsApp number. 91 is the country code. 96323-17950 is my number. And these videos will also be available on YouTube. You could, to get these interesting videos, you could take a look at my YouTube channel, which is Krishnamurthy Acupressure. And if you like the videos, you could click the videos like button, and also you could subscribe to my channel. Okay. So thank you all for joining today's session. So have a good night, good morning, good afternoon, depending on your time zones, and we will meet next Tuesday. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.